Greetings and welcome to NR 6910, GIS for Natural Resource Applications. This is the Introductory GIS class for graduate students as part of the M&R program at Utah State University. So I want to take a few minutes just to introduce myself and give you an overview of the class. Most of the details that you need are going to be found in the syllabus. So, hello, I'm Shannon Belmont. Please call me Shannon. No need to be formal. I'm not a professor or a doctor, so please just feel free to call me Shannon. My office is on the Logan campus, up on the 3rd floor of the Natural Resources Building. If you're around, feel free to stop by. I love meeting people in person. The best way to contact me is my USU email address. I do tend to hover around my email during the semester because I don't want students to get hung up on something little. So I do try to respond within 24 hours, hopefully much sooner than that. If I'm going to be away from my computer, I'll let you know. But this is the most efficient way to reach me. Canvas messaging works as well, and a lot of people rely on that. The problem with Canvas messaging is that I can't make attachments back to you. I can't attach a video or a screenshot back to you, so it's not as fluid for me. So I would prefer if we didn't use Canvas messaging. Briefly, I want to introduce kind of my background, but it's an excuse to show you this map, which you might think is about Canada, because the great big purple Canada in capital letters right at the top middle of the page, where you'd expect to see a title. We're going to talk about graphic outputs because we want to be taken seriously as GIS analysts, and if we can't share our results in a professional way, we reduce our credibility, I think. So I grew up in Minnesota, which is where I got my fantastic accent and also my master's degree. I did my undergraduate out in Seattle. Spent a couple years living in Finland and a year in Italy. I feel incredibly blessed that I've had this weird life where I've been able to move around and act a little bit free-form. Spent a year in upstate New York, lived for a year in Hawaii, which is where I developed this weird passion for surf art. And so in the decade before coming to Utah State University, I supported myself as a surf artist based out of Minnesota, of all places. Just was in the right place at the right time. But that's a thing of the past, and now I'm at Utah State University teaching GIS and loving every minute of it. Canvas is our course's central location. Everything that you need can be found on Canvas, including this video. I will be posting announcements. Your modules will all be organized there. Please take a look at the syllabus, and then you'll be walking through the things that you need to get done this first week. GIS is about connecting databases to maps. That's what it's all about. Our course goals center on understanding what spatial databases look like, and then understanding the details of map systems, spatial frameworks that are designed to describe locations with high accuracy. Without these two things, it's difficult to move forward with GIS with confidence. So we are going to get into the properties of the two basic types of spatial data and the way that we connect the databases to those physical representations. We're going to talk a lot about the differences between using some kind of graphic representation and all of the nuances that come with the real world. And we need to be thinking about all of those scale differences, accuracy, precision differences when we're doing our analyses. And then we are going to talk a lot about coordinate systems, which is what I'm talking about when I say we're going to talk about where we are. How do we describe that with high accuracy? And then in the background of all the assignments, we're going to be looking at cartography and effective presentation of results. The actual goals for the class are to give you exposure to the ArcGIS interface, which is hopefully going to lead to familiarity and comfort by the end of the semester. I'm going to expose you to a lot of tools and a lot of different kinds of workflows, but you're going to be repeating the basics over and over again with less and less instruction each time. This is designed to help you build muscle memory for our most common functions. And I want you to kind of develop this habit of questioning the structural differences between the two basic spatial data types that we work with. So there's going to be repetition of a lot of the basic functions. You're going to touch the same kinds of tools over and over again to select things and organize things, calculate lengths and areas. The rest of it, all of the more complex workflows, that's designed to just give you an idea of what's possible. So kind of always be thinking about the big picture. Think about building confidence and comfort and not getting hung up on memorizing a certain workflow, because everything's available on YouTube. What you can't learn on YouTube is confidence, troubleshooting, and where to find your resources. And so those are things we're going to focus on. And then coordinate systems. This is the term for spatial frameworks or reference systems where we can map where we are very effectively. Okay, and then wrapping things up. The way that the work is going to appear every week, we'll attack one module per week. So there's going to be a very consistent schedule for you that you can kind of rely on and plan around every week. Mondays, we'll start the new work. You've got all week to work on it, and you'll submit your results on Sunday nights. Almost every other week, you'll be providing feedback to each other's maps on a discussion board, and that feedback will be due on Wednesdays. But we'll get the week's work submitted on Sunday, and then we'll get to work on the next module. And the only thing you'll be doing to wrap up the week before is kind of reviewing a couple other students' work and providing them with some feedback. Okay, so the weekly module work has to be completed on Sunday nights. And then, like I said, typically the feedback will be due on Wednesday. But I do maintain a pretty strict schedule, and this is because the work never lets up and it snowballs very quickly if you fall behind. You can't afford to fall behind in this class, so make sure that you're getting everything in on Sunday. If you have questions, don't leave it to the last minute. I'm not going to be as responsive on the weekends as I am during the week, and I know that's tricky because a lot of you work during the week as well, but try and plan accordingly and don't leave things to the last minute. Late work, I don't penalize late work because I'm an ogre or I'm type A. It's because you can't afford to get behind. If you start getting behind early, the success rate is very low, and I'm here to help make sure that you all get through this class successfully. So I do penalize late work. The feedback won't be as high quality as the feedback is when I'm evaluating the whole class, and you will be held to a higher standard as you've had more time. So there are a lot of different penalties, I guess, for late work. That isn't to say that I don't accept it. I absolutely do, and in fact, oftentimes require you to get all the work in because this is a proficiency-based course. You have to learn the tools. So communication is key. Don't ever hesitate to reach out. That's why I'm here. Okay, this course is not about this feeling. Please, if you find yourself feeling like this, get in touch with me. This course is not going to make you a GIS expert. You will probably feel like a deer in the headlights for most of the semester. That's completely normal. Remember the big picture: spatial data, how we figure out where we are and how we describe that, learning to use resources. These are the things that are really important. And if you can get that and get some kind of confidence or comfort that you can move forward, that's what this course is really about. So hang in there. If you have that feeling, just get in touch with me and we'll get you back on track.